Well, I'll just kneel because I said that I would beg to share my knowledge. Now I just keep the effect going because this is what it's all about. Put our hearts into our heads and join forces. Body and soul and all being one. And if we can feel all that, that would be the change of the attitude, because then we will care about one another, and we don't need a system to lead us. We can have our heart guide us. Wouldn't that be great? And we do need to get over some issues now still, because I was never comfortable wearing no sleeves because I always had like a little bit heavier arms than the models in the paper and actors and actresses on TV and in the movies and stuff like that. So never felt really that good about that. But now I really could care less because see this flop. I never ever had anything like this. This is like the residue of the drugs that I was forced to take because my family is ashamed to share their feelings about sex and about the sexual behaviors and attitudes that I was forced to grow up with and accept. And I had no choice, as a child. What choice do you have? If your parents say, you're born naked and everybody's born naked, so you have to show yourself until you're 19 years old. It's because it's natural, everybody is born naked. So, if you have any shame or anything that goes with that, it's like, well, tough shit. I unlearned that force and changed it for Annika and Florian, so they don't have those issues to deal with. They have other issues to deal with because in a relationship, I heard Thomas Gottschalk yesterday. He also wrote in his memoirs or in his biography about his first time he had sex. Well, I tell you, the first time I had sex, and it wasn't really, and it's funny because throughout my marriage I felt like I was lying to my former husband, because I said I never had sex before, and to me it's like Bill Clinton saying he didn't have sex because Monica Lewinsky performed only oral favors for him, so didn't have sex. Well, I didn't really have sex either because the penis of the guy really didn't enter my vagina. He tried really hard, and it's. With Annika, I remember, I was sitting in the garage with her, and I felt like it would be good if she knew from me what sex is and what to expect and how to deal with it and all that, because a girlfriend of mine, her mom, did that for her. Well, I guess I didn't have that relationship with Annika because she just said, Mom, stop, and I kept on talking and didn't really listen. So I know I didn't do it all right in that area either. So anyway, Thomas Gottschalk, he talked about his first time, and first time I was in Hüttenbusch and in the house that my dad just kind of it was closed. It wasn't finished yet, but you could close it and spend the night there, and so I drove there with this guy because I had the key and I was allowed to go there, and we were alone in this huge house. And I still remember what the music playing. It was Je t'aime. Shoot, now I don't have the melody in my head. I can't say it or sing it. I'm sorry, but Je t'aime was playing, and there was really nothing romantic about it, I have to say, because I needed attention from anybody, and so he gave me attention, and I was really just accepted into that family when I drove up with my Daimler. And, my dad gave me his car. I was I just got my driver's license, and so it felt good to drive in that car because it was so smooth. And I drove up there, and it didn't even dawn on me, and it was really strange. The parents saw me in the Daimler, and ever since they saw me in that car, I was suddenly allowed to have coffee and cake with them before I had to wait upstairs. So I told my dad about that, because I just thought, great, they accepted me now. I didn't make the connection between the Daimler and really I didn't. So anyway, I told my dad about this, and he said, you know what? He doesn't love you. There's something terribly wrong there. But one thing I have to give him a lot of credit for, he didn't say you can never see this guy again or something. He just told me, this is not right. This is not right what's going on there, what they're doing there with you. And so, it was my Abitur coming up, and I had a big celebration in that house again, and I did it together with my girlfriend, and she invited her friends, and then they came with partners, and I invited my friends and the people that were in the same grade, because we didn't have a class as every other school did, because our school was different. So we had a lot of people there, and it was the only party that I knew of that was given, and I guess I wanted I felt free there in Hüttenbusch. It wasn't really, there was no history attached to that, and the room was there, and we decorated really nice. I took some papers from the schoolwork that I did, and I always made it like really extra pretty. I had it all in files on my cabinet, and so I ripped out some pages, and we smushed them up and threw them in the corner. So we had all these documents in the corner. So it was really nice. And then Sibylle and I we made all the salads, and by my recipe, which I learned from my mom. I have to admit, I did a lot of cooking with her. So I knew a lot about that, and so we had like a really great buffet, and then it must have been fun, because it got late, and I drank apple schnapps, which I looked on the label, and it said 7%. So I said, well, 7% is not that much, right? And so I drank it like apple juice. Well, the next day I looked again, and I think it said 30%. I don't know where I saw the 7, and must have been some other numbers meaning something else. I don't know. I got that mixed up. Anyway, I didn't really do so great. And one of my girlfriends, not Sibylle, the one I had the party with, the other one, Juliane, she held me, and she was like beside herself to see me drunk. It was the first and the only time in my life I was ever drunk, because of the mistake. I didn't read right. So I drank apple schnapps, like apple juice. And so, it got late, and then Hüttenbusch is kind of outside of Bremen. It's about 45 minutes drive. And so I said to these people, if you want to, you can stay over. We had lots of beds there, and great. So they all did stay over, and then by the time I was ready, cleaning everything up, sort of, I looked, and there was no bed left for me. Do you think one of them offered? Well, I don't remember exactly where I spent the night. I think it was in the bathtub. I think I took towels to dry ourselves off, and I slept in the bathtub. And then next day, my parents came, and they were really good about that. That I have to say. They didn't yell or scream. They just took it as it is. And the only thing, my father, he took me on the side, and he said, you know what? Because the daughter of one of his friends, she had her boyfriend with her and slept in his bed and my mom's bed. So he said, well, that's a no-no. That's just not okay. And I could live with that. That's fine. I felt like I lost total control then, because I also wanted to impress, and I never really had friends. So now all these people came, and they all had a good time. Great, but really not being friends with me. They just came because it was free food and free drinks, I think. So my parents paid for that, and I don't know. I could say that I can't say that it's a good memory. I had that party. Yeah, great, but I never really had friends, who cared about me when I went to school. Suddenly I had this big house there. That everybody had. They all had big houses, so now I had a big house too. It meant nothing. It meant nothing. the only thing that meant something for me was like to leave and move to America. And there was one guy, I still remember, Jarmo. Jarmo was from Finland, and when he talked, you know, he rolled his R's, and just like Samu Haber, you know, he rolls his R's too like that, and that's how Jarmo was. And Jarmo was the only man who was ever interested in me. He pursued me, and I didn't. I'm sorry, I did not have, you know, that kind of love, those kinds of feelings for him to have a relationship. And call me crazy if you like, you know, call me crazy anyway already. It bothers me that he was shorter than I am. I kind of like to have a partner that's at least my height or a little taller. Yeah, so I'm old-fashioned. What can I say? Should I go under or something like that? You know, really feel bad about myself. That's just how I am. Yeah. So, you know, I'm hoping that we will find a way to share what there is that needs to be shared in order to find a way to make things better for us all in the world. And I know that, you know, you can call me crazy that I know this. Now, I cannot make predictions, and I think I said this, you know, if you say, well, you know, what's going to happen if we do such and such, you know, Jesus Christ couldn't do this. Nobody could. Nobody on earth ever who was made holy can do that. Nobody can predict the future like that. You can say certain things, and they may fit. That's possible. This what I'm sharing is pretty solid stuff. It's a language. It's a language that with no words. A language of feelings and of memories that begin to mean something. As soon as we know who we are, what we want, as we are open to share all the feelings. You know, I heard people say, well, you don't share all your feelings with that person, but then you can share all your feelings with your partner. But when you love, you know, if you're a man and you love a woman, then, you know, obviously you must have sex with her, right? You know, if you feel like you have feelings for somebody, share them, you know, with that person. That doesn't mean that you need to hop into bed and have a sexual relationship. You know, sometimes I have everybody I talk to in the street, that, you know, especially people I don't know anything about. I feel so when they're open and they listen and share things about themselves to me. I feel the love, the same kind of love that. I'm not really sure. I don't think I ever was with a partner where I actually felt love, because I just didn't feel it, any of it. So how could I have felt it with them then? You know, because I learned all this stuff after I had relationships, which went wrong, and nothing is wrong really, because I learned from all of them. You know, this is how we all learn, is when things go wrong, we know what we don't like. So that's important to know as well, because, you know, then we can actually eliminate certain things and, you know, focus on the things that we do want. And if we don't know them all yet, you know, we'll find them if we're open and communicate. And it's the only way to find anything and a way is in communication. And if you know, if we put a lid on it and say, well, you can't say this and you can't say that because you might hurt somebody's feelings. Well, if somebody's feelings get hurt, then, you know, do they have a mouth and a voice and can say, you know, I'm feeling hurt when you say this. This is how we get past the personal privacy infringement kind of thing. And I'm hoping for the best still. And I think that I talked enough now, and I just live with what I have now and get my teeth fixed, and hopefully by the time they're fixed and get approved that they are allowed to be fixed, I hope that we can fix our differences between us and get the show on the road. How's that?